We're here, Senator Whitehouse, so I don't take too much time.
First of all, thank you all for being here. I customarily offer encouragement to have the regulatory process support the effort to find locations where they're boiling water to make electrons and swap in nuclear if the boiling water is being done by a decommissioned or obsolete plant, and also to lean in where the process allows for the reuse of spent fuel. That may not be reflected in the economic imperatives to the individual companies, but I think there's a huge public value to finding a way to make sure that spent fuel can be productively and safely reused, and I urge you to lean in on that. I say those things all the time, and I'm saying them again here. Given all of the intrusions from, in my view, the Department of Energy and from this doggy operation and potentially from the White House into what is supposed to be an independent process, I'm worried about the transparency issue, which I've seen, I think everybody on the panel mentioned the importance of transparency. Here's my concern. As you all are developing a regulation, it seems to me that, if I understand the process correctly, when all your work is done and your work is sent to OIRA, the office at OMB that supervises from the White House's perspective the development of regulations, no step in that process before it gets to OIRA is public. So if you had a situation in which an industry influence had a heavy hand over at OMB, or had a policy directive that was very different from the safety imperative that you are supposed to implement, you could have a situation which basically they just drop in the reg that they want at OIRA through the White House. All your work gets dismissed, and it now comes back to you with a very strong headwind from the White House saying, do this or you're out of luck. And it seems to me that transparency along the way so that people can see what went into OIRA and compare it to what came out of OIRA would be useful. Chairman Wright, do you agree with that?
So transparency and openness are big, and keeping the public informed, keeping our stakeholders, hearing from them, learning from them being a part of the process that's been key to what we've done historically. It's very important. I know that we're working very closely with OIRA to understand the process. So far, they've worked pretty seamlessly with us. We've not seen any of the things that you have alluded to, although we're aware, and if there is an issue, we know that we feel confident that we can have a serious discussion with them.
If something like that should happen, I would ask that somebody notify this committee that has happened, even if it's not a public matter, so we can inquire. Because if OIRA becomes the drop box for special interest influence, and all of your work as an independent commission basically gets blown out of the water by OIRA, and it's all done secretly because none of your preparatory work is public, and what OIRA does is secret, then behind that veil of secrecy, a lot of mischief can happen. So I'd ask you to make sure that we know about that.
Yes, sir.
Last, I call them doggy. Call them DOGE if you like, whatever you want.
Well, you need to clarify that because some folks on our side of are really confused when you keep saying doggy.
The doggy boys.
And I'm looking at them saying it's DOGE, it's DOGE.
So as of today, it seems there are 7 doggy staff at NRC. Is that true? Do I have the number right? Yes. And had any of them worked on nuclear energy prior to inboarding at NRC?
I
to your knowledge.
I know of one who has worked at a plant and has also worked on the coal side as well. That one I know for sure.
Yeah.
There may be
On the coal side of nuclear energy.
Well, no. He worked at a nuclear plant, but then he also
and then
worked
he worked at a coal plant
as well.
Got it. In your QFR responses, you said that the lead staffer from DOGE did not have an NRC supervisor. As of today, which of the staffers have an NRC supervisor? All 7, some of 7, none of 7?
So you're talking about, the one you're talking about was the first one there, Mr. Blake. He is a senior advisor and a consultant to the NRC, but he also he does consulting work at, my understanding is at DOE and also at EPA. He works in coordination with our EDO, Mike King, at the NRC. All the other members, the other 6, do report to an NRC.
An NRC person?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my time's up. Thanks very much.